For the past 4 months, this has been my main electric scooter. I've clocked more than 500 miles on it and measured its performance in all kinds of different road conditions and scenarios. This is the 4th Apollo scooter I review on this channel, and it's by far the scooter I've been the most excited about, as it's also the first Apollo scooter designed in-house from the ground up. Before we get into my tests, let's outline the main specs of the Phantom. You've got 2,400 watts of nominal power through 2 hub motors in a 52 volt system. To power the Phantom, you have a Dynavolt cell lithium-ion battery with an effective capacity of 1,216 watt-hours. Extra wide 10-inch pneumatic tires and a quadruple spring suspension setup dampen the ride, while 2 large disc brakes and regen braking are set to bring you to a stop on a dime. Besides the impressive array of hardware specs the Apollo Phantom boasts, it introduces several unique commuter-focused features that I'll get into later. So it looks like a beast and the specs will tell you that it's a beast, but the real question is, does it ride like one? Time to get into the nitty-gritty of what I found out through 500 miles on the Apollo Phantom. The Apollo Phantom boasts a dual motor system with a combined nominal output of 2,400 watts. Together they peak at 3,200 watts of instantaneous power, making it the Titan in the Apollo lineup. Apollo advertised a blazing 38 miles per hour top speed, so I was super excited to get out and test that myself using my pro-grade GPS logging gear. As a 170 pounds rider, I got a GPS certified top speed of 41.5 miles per hour. This is the fastest top speed I've gotten on an electric scooter so far, and in my tests it beats an array of high-tier names including the 010X, the Mantis 10 Pro, the Inukim OXO, and the Apollo Ghost. I honestly didn't expect a 52 volt system to surpass 40 miles per hour, but the Phantom absolutely crushed it. When I tested the Apollo Ghost earlier this year, the acceleration blew me away and set an acceleration record in my tests. But geared with 2 25-amp controllers, the power delivery on the Phantom is incredible. In fact, so incredible that it broke our previous record with a clear margin. As far as acceleration goes, the Phantom goes head-to-head and even beats several of the most powerful dual-motor scooters on the market. Like on the Ghost, Apollo advertised a max incline rate of 25 degrees. I don't have that level of hills in my area, but I tested the Phantom out on the steepest hill I could find, and it absolutely demolished the challenge, even increasing in speed on the way up. The Phantom is a truly versatile electric scooter that holds the power to deal with the most challenging hills on your path. The Apollo Phantom has a 52 volts 23.4 amp hours battery with an effective capacity of 1,216 watt hours. That places it nicely in between the 010X, the VZ9 Plus R, and the more expensive Inukim OXO and Cabo Mantis 10 Pro. As far as battery capacity for the money goes, the Mantis 10 Pro offers the most value out of the bunch. The battery pack on the Phantom uses Dynavolt cells as seen in the entire Apollo lineup. They use the Dynavolt cells to be able to offer the Phantom at a more competitive price without compromising performance. After having tested more than a dozen electric scooters with both Dynavolt and LG batteries, I've found that the performance is indeed about the same and hands down way better than cheap off-brand cells. Apollo advertised a 40-mile range when the scooter is ridden conservatively and a 25-mile range when going full throttle. I have run 3 range benchmarks at various speeds on the Apollo Phantom in realistic conditions with hills and traffic lights on the way to see what can be expected in the real world. In the first test, I rode the Phantom aggressively, accelerating as fast as possible and bottoming out the throttle whenever possible. This yielded just above 28 miles of range. In the second test, I ride like I would normally do when I'm out cruising, and this is what I consider the most comparable benchmark for others to use. This got me 34.5 miles of range. In the last test, I tried to preserve as much battery power as possible by riding in the single motor mode in gear 2 or 3. The result was 39.2 miles of range. So my results stack up really closely to what Apollo advertises. Based on the second range test, it comfortably beats the 010X and the VZ9 Plus R, while falling just shy of the Mantis 10 Pro. The Inukim OXO goes the furthest as expected with its notably higher battery capacity. Still, these are very good results and the scooter performs great until you're almost out of juice. Portability and high performance rarely go together in the electric scooter world. Weighing in at 75.2 pounds, the Apollo Phantom is definitely not a featherweight, but considering it's a dual-motor performance e-scooter, it's pretty much what you would expect. While some of the previously mentioned models are lighter, the Phantom has features like a bigger suspension system, wider tires, and larger brake rotors that not only add to the weight, but the ride quality as well. The handlebars do not fold. I for one prefer them like this on a performance scooter, as fewer moving parts typically result in less play in the build overall and a stronger design as a whole. But if you are relying on placing it in a trunk, it's worth noting. The folding mechanism is something I want to highlight because it works very well. It's a lot easier to use than the dual clamp system seen on scooters like the 010X and Apollo Ghost. In fact, it reminds quite a lot of the one you see on the ERideHero XO. In addition, there's a handy hook located below the display that allows you to latch the stem into the cutout on the footrest for easier transportation. The ride quality on the Apollo Phantom is heavenly. I am privileged enough to get to ride a range of incredibly fun and expensive scooters, and the Phantom is on the shortlist for the best ride quality I've tried. To start off, the quadruple spring suspension setup is incredible. The springs are large, they have lots of travel potential, and they're adjustable so you can fine-tune them for your weight and personal preference. I would argue that this spring setup is some of the best I've tried on an electric scooter. Apollo fitted the Phantom with extra wide 10-inch tube pneumatic tires on split rims. The tires are 3.25 inches wide. With a bigger contact surface, they provide more road grip than the 2.5-inch and 3-inch tires seen on the 010X, Mantis 10 Pro, and ERideHero XO. Because of this, you really feel in control when turning or leaning at speed. Apollo call them hybrid tires, and I think that's a good way to describe them. Although they don't have as steep tire tread as the usual off-road tire, the added width along with the responsive spring suspension makes the ride capable of handling a fair bit of terrain without sacrificing performance on the road. The tires and springs do an excellent job at eliminating shocks from rapid road vibrations, as well as bigger obstacles like bumps, small potholes, and small branches. Furthermore, the Phantom feels extremely comfortable even when you are going full speed. There's very limited wobbling, and I always felt in control on the unit. The deck is very spacious, and I really love the footrest at the back. It's particularly useful for balancing when accelerating or braking hard when you have to shift your weight quickly. This is something that I think all performance e-scooters should have, but too many of them miss out on this essential feature. I experienced no wobble or flex in the stem whatsoever, and the curved handlebars with ergonomic and rugged grips are ultra comfortable. As a 5'11" rider, I love the wide handlebars and the fairly high deck to handlebar distance, but I do imagine that smaller riders will find the ride a little bit bulky. Now, I have a pre-production model of the Phantom. On this version, there's a little bit of a dead space in the thumb throttle before the power kicks in, but Apollo have already addressed this issue with all scooters shipping out since September the 1st. They have also removed the key lock, which I don't really mind. It's not anywhere near as safe as using an actual U-lock in the neck of the scooter, and it was actually a bit in the way of the old throttle. Maybe Apollo will be the guys to design the first properly secure scooter key lock. Who knows? All in all, the ride quality is one of my personal highlights on the Phantom. It's some of the best I've tried, hands down. The quality and safety of the build are of high importance on an electric scooter, and even more so for one that goes as fast as the Apollo Phantom. The Phantom is the culmination of feedback from thousands of Apollo electric scooter riders. The mission from the start has been clear. Apollo wants to build the best in-class electric scooter in the world. To achieve that, every small detail matters. This means continual refining based on tons of rider feedback. What I have here is the pre-production version of the Phantom. Now, on this pre-production model, the build quality feels really solid, but there is room for small improvements. But since this, Apollo have actually already addressed all of the main problems that were highlighted by their riders. On the first batch of Phantoms, the throttle had some dead space when initiated, and the display lacked brightness in direct sunlight. They've already changed the throttle to a higher quality Hall sensor, which removes the issue and makes it about 25% more responsive. For the hex display, the refresh rate is now 2 times faster, and the light has been increased by 67%, which makes a world of difference. The kickstand on the first batch was a little flimsy, as pointed out by many customers. They have now made it out of steel rather than aluminum, which makes it about 3 times sturdier and more durable. They've also improved the plastic formula in the safety folding ring for improved flexibility and sturdiness. The first batch saw a rare few units below 0.04% having issues with the neck. Heavy loads and hard riding could cause cracks to appear in the neck. Apollo worked quickly on top of that issue, and after extensive testing, which I have gotten insight into, it was determined that the issue was the way the neck was cast. It could on rare occasions cause some inconsistencies in the neck. Apollo have now changed the casting method as well as increased the neck material thickness to completely eliminate this issue and make the neck stronger than ever. Now I have seen stress tests done on the neck and it's incredibly strong at this point, and that goes for the entire build as a whole. It's big and it's beefy and it's well constructed across the line. It can comfortably handle 300 pounds with ease, so heavier riders will still be able to have plenty of fun on the Phantom. The visibility setup on the Phantom is among the best in class. You'll see way too many high-tier electric scooter manufacturers cut corners on lights to save money. Apollo are aware of the importance of proper road visibility, which is why they've fitted it with an ultralight 1000 lumen headlight as well as ample deck lights on the front and rear. I personally love to see commuter-focused features, which is why I'm excited about the turn signals on the Phantom. On the left side of the handlebar you have 2 buttons that'll enable the turn signals. From the display you can see which are enabled and which are not. You can even enable both of them at the same time in case you end up in a situation that calls for proper warning lights. While it's an excellent feature I hope will become a staple in future electric scooters, they don't get the full potential out of it because it only operates on the rear deck lights. In my opinion, it would be more effective if they integrated this functionality on the front deck lights as well. This way you could show oncoming traffic that you're about to make a turn and not only the traffic behind you. With a lot of motor power, you need an equal amount of braking power. The Phantom is fitted with dual disc brakes and adjustable regen braking. The cheaper version of the Phantom has mechanical ones, while the upgraded version runs not hydraulic brakes. Apollo decided to bring supersized 160mm rotors to the Phantom for increased braking performance and better heat distribution. These are by all means superior to the 140mm discs seen on a lot of the closest competitors. When traveling at 15 miles per hour, the Apollo Phantom brakes to a stop in just 10.3 feet, which is some of the best we've ever tested on an electric scooter. All things considered, anything under 15 feet is good and anything below 12 feet is excellent. In our tests, it beats the 010X, the Mantis 10 Pro, and the VZ9 Plus R, while only slightly losing out to the more expensive Inokim OXO. As far as braking performance goes, the Apollo Phantom once again finds itself in company with the very best performers in the industry. In under a year, Apollo have already managed to refine the Phantom to the point where it's almost perfect in my eyes. The issues with the throttle, hex display and kickstand were the only ones I encountered myself through my first 500 miles of riding, and it's awesome to see Apollo bringing upgrade kits for these things to all first batch buyers free of charge. All these upgrades are already there on all Phantoms purchased after September the 1st, 2021. The Apollo Phantom is heavy on features and high in value. It's an innovative scooter that performs incredibly well across the line. The result is an eye-wateringly powerful ride with a responsive build that is safe as houses. Its tried and true design has already been refined to the point where you'll have to look long and hard to find anything to nitpick about. In an industry where a lot of the products are similar reiterations sourced from the same factories under different names, it's great to see a brand like Apollo taking a step forward in the name of innovation and advancement for the industry as a whole. Developing an electric scooter from scratch is not an easy task. In reality, it's something very few brands would ever dare to do, and I think Apollo have done a pretty damn good job with the Phantom. It did have some imperfections in the beginning, but pretty much all concerns have been addressed swiftly, and all units shipped after September 1st, 2021 are the latest generation of Phantoms. For me personally, the Apollo Phantom is close to being the perfect electric scooter. Having tried dozens of different high-end scooters, the Phantom feels like the complete package. From the game-changing hex display to the impressive lighting setup with turn signal functionality, the Phantom goes the distance where other scooters cut corners. Hopefully we see the turn signal functionality being integrated with the front deck lights in the future to fully unlock its potential. That marks the end of this review. For additional Phantom tests and data, feel free to check the link in the description to our written review on our website. You'll find exclusive discount codes for the Phantom in the description as well. A lot of time and effort goes into the production of every single review we make. If you're interested in getting the Phantom and you want to support our channel in doing so, it would mean the world to us if you followed our affiliate link down in the description. This earns us a commission on every purchase, but it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the future production of electric scooter reviews on ERideHero. Thanks for watching, more to come real soon, bye.